Hmm. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, like most Saturdays, I am checking on my rock tumbler. So we've got about 12 pounds worth of stuff in here. So let's see how it did. About 12 pounds worth of stuff. All right. Get this out of the way. Throw lid off, and we can check and see how it looks. So, I'll clean this rubber piece off real quick. Just a little bit. I'll finish that later. Here is our bucket. We're just going to dump everything in and give it a quick rinse. Try not to splash all over the place. All right, that should be good. We'll set that kind of aside. It's not going too far away because it is where I will be putting all of my rocks that need more time. So start cleaning them off. So, all right, so first up, some quartzite that I found in Nelson County here in Virginia. Really, all of this is from either Virginia or Maryland. So let's see. So move around a little. There we go. Alrighty. So nothing too exciting. It's just a nice gray. It still needs some more time. And here's the other half. This is one that I cut in half. So that also needs more time. Ooh, actually, before I get too deep into this, hey, King Danta. Yeah, I was busy this morning, so doing it in the afternoon instead. So here is kind of what we're the end goal for a lot of these rocks is to look like this. So this is one. It's pretty big. I took it out of the polish this morning. You can see it's a big piece of chert. It still has some little holes. It'll let you see. But for the most part, it came out really nice. So that's the goal for how these end. So let's look real quickly at some more of the quartzite in here. So this one has more of a sand color. Zoom in. All right. So this one's more of a sand color, although there is some gray that you can see this chip needs some work. This quartzite, it's probably, I must have gotten this in Rockingham County because it's got that purplish tint to it, and there's some reddish spots. That's pretty common around here. But you can see there's still some crevices that need a little more smoothing out. Oh, this one's finally getting a little interesting. So This one now has a white spot on it. Um, it's quartzite that for some reason turned green along the fracture lines. Don't quite know why. I don't know that it will turn out very nice, but it's been tumbling anyway for a little while. Here's another sandy quartzite piece. Nothing too special there. Let's see. Here's a smaller piece of that same like pinkish green quartzite thing. Hello. Let's see. Having more. I think this one's probably quartzite as well. Again, not very pretty. So let's move on to some of the nicer looking rocks. This one looks like it might be ready. This is some sort of meta basalt. It has a lot of neat colors. So this is one I'm looking forward to seeing how it finishes up. I'm going to put it over to the side with this is where I'll put all the rocks that are ready to move on to the next stage. So these went through what's called a rough drit. So it spins around in the barrel for a week. It smooths it down. And then if they are smooth enough, I will move them on to the medium grit. Hi, easy. So this is quartzite. Again, this one's pink. It's got some little cracks still. So another week. Uh, then after the medium grit, it goes to a fine grit and then a polish. And then eventually it's nice and shiny all on its own, even when it's not wet. Here's another piece of that same pink quartzite. This one's pretty close, but I don't know how well you can see it there. There's like a lip right here that still needs to smooth out. Any more? So this is just another stray creek rock that I threw in from Elkton. I don't know how well these will take a polish. It looks like meta basalt again, which sometimes will take a polish, sometimes it won't. And if you're interested in seeing any of these from start to finish, definitely check out my profile. I have a bunch of really quick shorts, like 5 seconds long, showing how they started, what they looked like after a week, and how they finished. So here's another metabasalt one that's not ready. There's a spot there that needs to smooth up. This, I can't quite tell if this is quartz or quartzite. It looks like maybe it's just milky quartz. But it's going to go back in for another week. Here's a nice big piece of milky quartz. So you can see it still has a hole here. That hole will probably not finish smoothing out by the time I'm ready to move it on, but this area here is still very rough from little crystals that used to be there. So I'm going to put it back in. This big quartzite is so close, but not quite there. This side, so, well, maybe there's a little spot there that needs some work too. Yeah, I'm going to put that back in. This is just some sort of green rock. I've made some necklaces that are on Etsy out of a very similar material, like slices of this basically, but without the ugly brown exterior. So it's taking a lot longer to tumble than I expected. It's here. I love these. This one's going to take a long time, but it is a big chunk of milky quartz with deep red iron staining all over it. So some of them are much clearer. There's much more milky quartz left along those iron stain fracture lines. But there tend to be big like air pockets in it. So those take a while. Gotta just wait until you get it just perfect. It's also hold on to a lot of grit, which is annoying. Gotta really clean them. So here's one. This one may not work out. It's got a huge hole there in the center. But we probably have space for it, so. So here is a really nice piece of chert. Yeah. All right. So, and it's not the most exciting piece, but pretty cool. This spot here, I think I'm just going to hand smooth on my flat lap so that I can hurry up and move that one along. Here's some more chert. It's got some weird, interesting colors. The Minecraft Bros. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. So this one has some weird color to it. It came off of this much bigger rock that is been in here for a little while. It's actually getting quite a bit better. I wasn't sure how it would do. I thought it'd break into a bunch of pieces, but it hasn't. So those will go back. Those will both go back in. Ooh, I always like chert that has blue. This one has another half. Here it is. So this other half, it's almost ready. I'm tempted to move this one along just because I really like the way it looks right now, even though it's not perfect. I think I'm going to move that half along, and then this one's still got some areas that really need work, so that'll go back. All right, so here's a nice milky quartz piece that unfortunately fractured this past week. You can see right here where it's still fresh and raw, it fractured. Go back in. Ooh, I like this color. This is another one. I never quite know to move it on, even though it's still got some spots that aren't perfect. Hmm. This might be another one that I hand finish, or at least by hand finish getting it ready for the next stage. Cool um, iron stained quartz. It's got, yeah, it looks like there might be some spots of the quartz that are not pure white, a little bit of clarity to it. Let's see, this one's just about ready, but you can see spots that are rough. So the ideal is that when you run your hand over it, it feels kind of like a jelly bean. So this one still has this rough side here, so it's going back in. Like burnish them, like run them through water to clean them off again. I usually do that after I polish them, and maybe kind of do it in between each stage if they're moving on. But typically it's just after I polish. This one's pretty good. So there's this deep crack here that I think it probably goes too deep. So I'm going to go ahead and move that along. What type of stone do you have? Another piece of quartzite. Yeah, that one's still got some spots. This one, I don't know what this is. It's kind of like quartzite, but kind of feels different. This piece of chert has been in here for far too long. Let's see. But it still feels rough, so another week. My favorite. I love shirt that has like swirly patterns in it, like this here. So this would be a good one. Those can be kind of fragile, so I'll probably move that along now instead of waiting. Some more iron stained quartz. This one I thought was chert, but has this clearly iron stained quartz core in the center, but it's not smoothing out very well. And it's taken the right shape and everything, but it feels like it had a lot of air pockets in it, maybe. This is from Potomac, Maryland, Bethesda area. It's just a nice little yellow quartz. Any diamonds? No. Hey, Edward. Good to see you. Oh, a bunch of people all at once. I'm doing good. I'm just going through my Tumblr. This is my surprise. I don't know what it'll look like in the end. These black rocks always take a really nice shine, but they always like fracture in a bunch of spots too. Oh, in Pakistan. Do you live there or just there visiting? This one's coming along. Another little yellowish, milky quartz. Some more chert. This one's got a cool like red line running all the way through it. Hopefully it stays in one piece and doesn't break up. Ooh. So this, I initially thought was iron stained milky quartz, but it might be chert. Black lines are not something I ever see with the quartz. It's more quartzite. No, I don't have any raw sapphire. Here's some more quartz. It's got a big chunk. So a lot of the smaller ones a lot of these actually are probably just junk. Not quite junk, but are not great. Um, and are just kind of there as filler for some of the nicer rocks that I'm more excited for. I like this one. If this side upper smooths out, some more iron stained quartz. Yes, this is one. You can see it goes pretty deep. All those little crevices. So it probably isn't going to be the best tumble, but I'll let it keep going. Little piece of chert. Be interesting to see if that actually turns into anything. Hmm. More chert. Yeah, sure, if you want. You can go ahead and share it in the chat. So just a tiny piece of chert. This one's getting very close, but still got some holes. Some sort of chalcedony, I guess. Yeah, we don't have sapphire here. Ooh, fish tanks. That's a good idea. I don't have fish though. All right, maybe another little black piece. This is probably chert broken into a lot of pieces. Lots of crack lines through there. This one's pretty cool. I think I'm going to move it on to the next stage, even though it's not perfect, just because it is pretty small too. Let's see. Another little quartz piece. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the black ones are cool. I just wish they didn't crack so frequently. Should probably do a bunch of them together and by themselves in one of my smaller tumblers. So this one is rounding pretty nicely. Doesn't seem to have too many, I think they're called vugs, little pulled out areas. So hopefully this little spot here will just kind of grind away with another week or two. Let's see. Yeah, this is one that probably will turn out okay. So the gold dots are usually just staining here, not gold. Oh, here's one that's ready. Not as many this week already as normal. This one you can see, so this part is not as hard as these little spots that poke out because everything's wearing out faster around those big little horns. Really interesting to see how it turns out. It's another little piece of quartzite. This one's done, or ready at least to move on. Yeah, I don't know too much about rocks over in the UK, but I enjoy picking up rocks while I take my dog for walks and taking them home and tumbling them and seeing what they look like. Yeah, a bunch of these quartzite pieces are ready. This one's not quite. Yeah, you can see that hole there in this chert. Ooh, I always liked when chert has these kind of swirls. This one I'll move on. Some iron staining again. Yeah, another probably junk piece. I should stop throwing the junk pieces back in. I don't know about this one. Another little teeny tiny chert. Some more chert. This one's ready too. Move it on. Oh, that's cool. The floating golden chunks specks. This is going to be really neat when it's done, if it holds up. Let's see. We're down to some small pieces now. Yeah, this one's ready. This little piece of chert. Let's see. More quartzite. Ooh, this one's cute. I think I'll move it on. All right, I'm going to go through these last few really quickly so that we can move on and look at the new rocks that I'm putting in this week. This one's ready, I think, for the next stage. As ready as it'll be, at least. This one's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I'll move it on. Mm, I'll move it even with the crack. Hello, how's it going? This one's good. Not quite ready. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to really quickly go through these little teeny tiny ones. Let's see if any are worth pulling out. This one probably is. Oh, look, neat little green thing. All right, so here is our barrel, and it is not full. I have a bunch of rocks that I picked up in Charlottesville this last week. Over here, I'm going to start going through until we've got enough in our barrel. Yep. So I have no idea what this green rock is. So we're going to throw it in and see what happens to it. This is just quartz that should be pretty cool to see how it turns out. You can see here some really nice iron staining. So that's going to be a good one. This one, I think I'm going to set aside so I can cut it because it's big and it looks like it might be cool inside. This looks like maybe quartzite. I don't know. There's some cool like red to orange with some vein patterns there. Might set that one aside too. Do another piece of quartz. This one is really cool. I want to know what this looks like when I cut it open. So that will be my afternoon activity, or maybe what I do tomorrow. Try and get some of these smaller ones. Here is, let's get it wet. So this should be pretty cool. I think it's some sort of meta basalt. I've seen rocks like this. It comes out with a neat little like leopard print pattern. So I tumble rocks. So I'm just going through the rocks and checking to see which ones are done or ready to move on to the next stage. And now I'm adding brand new rocks in to fill out the tumbler. There's some, ooh, this is cool. So it's a green meta basalt of some sort, like neat orange quartz probably, and little red jasper specks. Hey Ivy, how's it going? Another like yellowed quartz piece. Let's see. Ooh, here's a good milky quartz with some staining. Stains always make a cool pattern. Let's see, here's another one of those rocks with the red jasper and the orange speckles. This one's more quartz, but it's got some green to it. I always like when there's a little bit of both. This will probably just be like an orange rock, nothing too special. So the red bucket is the tumbler. So I fill it up with rocks and then add, it's called grit, and the grit along with water. And then it spins for a week, and I check and see how much it wore them down. So here's another piece of quartz. And I want to make sure I get some small ones. So here's a smaller piece of quartz. Let's see. So this piece of quartz, I'm not entirely sure. It should be pretty clear compared to what I usually find. I can't tell if the green is just moss or if it is maybe through the rock. So we'll find out. The big black one. So this, I don't know. So I'm going to cut it open. It's actually like a really dark green. I'm hoping it's something kind of cool. I doubt it has like a neat pattern or anything inside, but I'm hoping it at least takes a polish and I can cut some cool shapes to polish out of it. Maybe some point this week. Let's see, I'm going to try and get a mix of different rocks. So here's a neat little red one. So I don't build anything with the rocks. They mostly just sit around as like decoration. So like here's one that I just finished today. So this is what it looks like polished and done. This one's, yeah, it's about the size of your palm. Smaller than a baseball, but bigger than a golf ball. And then some are tiny. Here's a little green one that will tumble. We'll see how it does. I must not have had very much in there this past week. Put that one in. And maybe a few more. Let's see. There's another one, some iron staining. Nice clear one. Something green. Can you get some? I have some that I've started posting in an Etsy shop if you want to check that out. The link is in my on my page, my channel page. It's a pretty relatively clear quartz for what I typically find around here. I've got plenty of iron stain. Let's see. Ooh. Ah, here we go. So this one, I'm hoping is blue quartz, which does appear quite a bit in the area where I was looking. So maybe it will be, or maybe not. That might just be some sort of inclusion in there. Let's see. And here's another one. It's pretty clear. Be interesting to see what color tint is that. Yeah, I only have a few that I've posted on Etsy so far, but I'll be adding more regularly. It's like a nice clear one. This one's kind of a interesting yellow. Let's see, maybe one more small one and then we'll be done. Ah, so I'm interested in whether this backside will polish or if it's super soft and will just rub away and I'll be left just with still a pretty cool iron stained quartz piece. So that'll go in there too. So here's our barrel, and let's see. You can see there's actually still probably space for a few more small ones. But I will load it up and get it rolling, and then I'll be back here next week. Do I ship internationally? I don't know that I set it up for international shipping. I don't know how expensive that gets. So I haven't set that up yet, at least. But it's something I will look into. But